Here's the Fly Creek UL2 right here. Good old Fly Creek UL2. And here is the Fly Creek HV UL2. So this one's a little bit of an older model. It is, I think I purchased it in 2012, and this one I bought this past year at an REI garage sale. So let's toss these two on the scale and see how they compare ounces and grams. Let's do the old version first. So this has no footprint or anything, and it's just tent, fly, and bag. So about 2 pounds 9 1/8. Switch it over to grams. We got ourselves 1,166 grams for a mass. Now let's go ahead and put on the new HV. Whoop. And there it is, grams, 1,008. Switch over to pounds. That's 2 pounds and 3.5 ounces. Pretty impressive weight drop. So first thing you're going to notice is that the HV looks a little wider at the top, but really, I mean, they're about the same. And if you pull out the lines on these, the older version definitely has a thicker line, and the new one, the HV, has a much thinner line. So go ahead and take a look at those two next to each other here. Maybe even put them directly on top of each other. Come here, you. Okay, the HV is significantly thinner with the line, so that looks like a possible weight savings there. Not much, but hey, every ounce counts. So it's a little snowy outside. I'm going to go ahead and set these tents up inside. Alright, got the HV versus the regular, the old school 2012. So, let's get these things set up. Well, I got it staked out here, if you call this staked. It's not ideal, but I've staked the entire tent out all the way down here by taping it to the carpet. My wife's going to love this when she gets home. Alright, so I got my two tents side by side staked out now. And one of the things you'll probably want to see right away is how do these two tents differ. So if we take a quick look at just the back ends here, you're going to notice that in the closer one, or the HV, the high volume version of the Big Agnes Fly Creek 2, it actually comes down and then bends down suddenly at the back end. And I know this isn't a perfect pitch because I'm taping down stakes in my living room. However, it is providing more space in the foot area than you would usually have, which probably would help with condensation. So, just looking long distance, maybe a little longer distance, you can see that rather than a gradual taper, we've got a sudden drop there. Another difference between these is at the back of the newer version, you've got a yellow marker. They're actually maroon in the front, so here's a yellow marker. And then on this one, it's just black. And at the front, they're also black, and they also have reflective tape. So you have to kind of take it out and kind of navigate and find your way through this tarp, versus the newer version with the yellow strap versus the black straps. Another difference is material is used to pull down the corner of the tent to give you a little bit extra foot space, and then it hooks onto the stake from there. But on the newer tent, on the newer version, we've actually got two ropes that do it for us. Let's see if we can pull this down here. Okay, and so instead they've got two ropes, and then it is knotted very specifically to match this kind of a format so that you get the most out of your foot box. And then they both tie down to the same stake, just like they do over here in the older version of the tent. Color difference is very slight. Got a green, almost like a Cuban color over here, versus a lighter color. I feel like the newer one would be a little tougher to spot in the woods. As far as tie-outs are concerned, we've got a different line lock, something that allows you to actually lock the line in place, little alligator type toothy thing there. Both tents have clips. You clip this in and it pulls out on the wall, and then up a little bit higher, same thing. So no difference, no change there. Okay, let's go back over to the old one just to show you. So here it is actually clipped. Went ahead and did that earlier. And then if we go a little further up into the tent, you can see a second one there. As we go along to the front, we've got the same tie outs on the front end here that we did on the last one. Now, let's take a look at Vestibule Space. This is going to require me taping this back out because I pulled on it on the back. Okay, so as far as vestibule is concerned, dead even. So now with the two tents open, here's the older version. It's got a bit of a slant to it. And if we look at the newer version, the slant, let's move over a little bit, is almost non-existent. So you get a little bit of coverage over your door now, all the way to the ground, versus before, when the rain could fall directly onto your mosquito netting and potentially get into your tent when you were opening it up during a rainstorm. So the lack of a slant in this one is actually kind of nice. Now to compare the two from the inside. So this is a Thermarest Z-Lite small pad. This is a kind that'll cover you from about head to just below your waist to keep your butt warm. So let's go ahead and climb in. It feels roomy. It feels really roomy in here. Let's flip around. Hey guys, how's it going? So first thing you're going to notice is headroom. I've got, I don't know, about 6 inches of space above my head. That's pretty good. And then on my sides, if I were to get these things tied out and pulled out, I mean, we're looking at quite a bit of space. So I actually have more space here. I have to go up to about there. I got more space for my feet, even on the side that's not pulled out nice and tight. I still got space. Let's take a look at the head. Yeah, that's the stuff. So, move the screen door out of the way. I've got 3 or 4 inches up there. I'd have to say that's pretty good. Okay, I got the pockets over here. Just usually throw my stuff stacks in there. Got another one on this side. If we flip over, we got one up top in order to throw things in as well. I have not ultralighted. I have not taken off my tags. Shame on me. But it is brand new. I just unclipped everything not too long ago. So, space, plenty. Okay, it feels bigger. I can actually stretch my arms out in here as well, which is kind of a nice thing to do, I guess. So overall, not bad. Let's compare this really quick. Kind of the same idea with the old version of this tent. Same tent. Once again, don't have the tie-outs pulled out or anything, so I kind of feel useless in that regard. However, let's crawl in. So just sitting in here, looks like, you know, a decent amount of space on my head on this one too. About maybe an inch less. Side to side, about the same room side to side, so that's nice. Honestly, can't really tell the difference in the feet. I thought for sure there'd be more foot room. Take a look at headroom. Also about the same. The only difference is now if I were to flip over, I see the stars. If I do that in the other one, so same headroom in the HV. There we go. About the same headroom. Get it down to my face, flip it over. I don't see no stars. So you do sacrifice the rain protection, which is nice, over seeing the stars at night. And honestly, I mean, you can look back a little bit. You can see the stars. It's not a huge deal. Time to tear them down. Overall, if somebody were to come up to me and say, do you prefer your old tent or do you prefer the new tent? You know, I haven't taken the new one out. It feels like it's made of slightly lighter fabric, but you know, I know Old Reliable here is pretty darn dependable. It's a good tent, the old Fly Creek UL2 from 2012. But I think if I were to take a tent out, I would take this one. It's a little lighter. Gives me just a little bit more room. Vestibule Space is about the same. You get that extra little slant upward in order to account for the rain falling into the tent. So this one, I know I won't be able to see the stars at night, but it's lighter. It's taller by just a teeny little bit. Offers about the same foot space from what I can tell, but I mean, it feels roomier, and let's face it, it's new. And new is good, baby. So, yeah, definitely going to try this out and see how it works. I'll have to let you know a little bit more later.